Ambassador Chen Wei stepped into the Grand Assembly of the Galactic Coalition, her modest diplomatic briefcase contrasting sharply with the ornate crystalline armor worn by her alien counterparts. The chamber's bioluminescent walls pulsed with the collective disdain of 47 different species, all united in their contempt for humanity's latest proposal. The humans, hissed Overlord Vexthak through his translator implant, his 6 eyes gleaming with malicious amusement, wish to establish what they call universal rights across our territories. His serpentine form coiled in what passed for laughter among the hegemony. How quaint that a species barely capable of interplanetary travel believes it can dictate law to civilizations that conquered the stars before their sun was born. The assembly erupted in a cacophony of alien laughter, chittering clicks from the insectoid swarm minds, harmonic mockery from the gaseous ethereal collective, and the bone-deep rumbling of the silicon-based crystalline dominion. Chen remained perfectly still, her expression unchanged. "Honored delegates," she began, her voice carrying clearly through the chamber's acoustic dampeners. "We come not as conquerors, but as advocates. Our proposal outlines basic protections for sentient beings across all coalition space." Protection? The word dripped with venom from War Master Kralon of the Talon Empire. His predatory beak clicked dismissively. "Your species has existed for what, 200,000 years? We have maintained order for millions. You dare lecture us on governance?" Chen nodded respectfully. "We understand our youth in galactic terms. However, we've noticed certain inconsistencies in how different species are treated within coalition space." She activated her briefcase's holographic projector. Images filled the air. Duridian refugees being processed as livestock by hegemony traders. Xantharian colonies stripped of resources while their inhabitants were relocated to barren worlds. Entire Pequin populations disappearing into Talon Empire. Work programs. "These are internal matters," growled Vexthak. "Each species governs as it sees fit within its sovereign space." "Indeed," Chen agreed. "But what happens when these practices extend beyond sovereign borders? When they affect trade, threaten stability, or create refugee crises that burden neighboring systems?" The chamber fell silent. Chen continued, her tone never shifting from its diplomatic calm. 3 months ago, the Duridian situation created a supply shortage that affected 17 systems. The Xantharian displacement crisis has spawned pirate fleets that now threaten commercial shipping lanes. The disappearance of Pequin populations has destabilized an entire sector's economy. War Master Kralon leaned forward. "You suggest we care about the fate of inferior species? I suggest you care about your own interests," Chen replied smoothly. "Every act of systematic oppression creates ripples that eventually reach your own territories. Earth's proposal isn't about morality. It's about stability." A new voice entered the conversation, mechanical and coldly logical. The synthetic consensus had remained silent until now. "Explain your enforcement mechanism, human. Laws without consequences are merely suggestions." Chen smiled for the first time since entering the chamber. "We've developed what we call the Human Protocol. Any coalition member that systematically violates the established rights will find themselves subject to comprehensive economic isolation." "You threaten us with trade embargoes?" Vexthak's laugh was genuinely amused now. "Humanity controls perhaps 1% of coalition commerce." "Currently, yes," Chen acknowledged. "But we also control something far more valuable: information flow." The chamber's lighting shifted as Chen's presentation expanded. Data streams showed the intricate web of communication networks, financial systems, and technological exchanges that had quietly become dependent on human-developed protocols. Over the past 50 years, we've made ourselves indispensable to galactic communication. Our translation algorithms process 93% of all interspecies communications. Our financial clearing systems handle 87% of coalition trade transactions. Our navigation protocols guide 74% of all commercial shipping. The synthetic consensus processed this information with mechanical precision. You have created a dependency web. We've made ourselves useful, Chen corrected. And now we're proposing to make the galaxy more stable. Species that comply with the Universal Rights Protocol will continue to enjoy full access to these systems. Those that don't, she didn't need to finish. The implications hung in the air like a toxic cloud. War Master Kralon's feathers ruffled with agitation. This is extortion. This is diplomacy, Chen replied. We're offering you a choice. Maintain the status quo and watch your economies gradually collapse as humanitarian crises destabilize, system after system, or accept a minimal framework that protects everyone's interests. And if we refuse entirely. Overlord Vexthak's voice carried a dangerous edge. Chen's expression didn't change, but her next words carried the weight of absolute certainty. Then you'll discover why humanity has survived and thrived despite being, as you put it, barely capable of interplanetary travel. We don't conquer through strength, we win through necessity. The chamber fell silent again. In the background, data flowed across screens showing real-time economic indicators, communication traffic, and system dependencies, all flowing through human-controlled networks. 3 hours later, the vote was called. The Universal Rights Protocol passed by a margin of 37-10. As delegates filed out, many shooting venomous glares at the human ambassador, Chen packed her briefcase with the same calm efficiency she'd maintained throughout the session. The synthetic consensus approached her, its mechanical form towering over her diminutive frame. An elegant solution, it acknowledged. You have weaponized interdependence itself. Chen looked up at the artificial intelligence. We learned long ago that the strongest chains aren't made of metal, they're made of mutual necessity. Every species in this coalition now needs us to function, and now they need our law to maintain stability. And if they attempt to break free of this dependency? Chen's smile returned, but this time it carried an edge that would have made a predator nervous. Then they'll learn why humans call it cutting off your nose to spite your face. We may be young, but we're very, very good at making ourselves indispensable. As she walked out of the Grand Assembly, Chen reflected on humanity's greatest strength, not their technology, not their military might, but their ability to make themselves essential to the very functioning of civilization itself. The galaxy had laughed at human diplomacy. Now they spoke human law,